Welcome to Scale King. So 93% of your market is ignoring you, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly why, and I'm going to show you how you can get the interest of the 93% that is ignoring you, and I'm going to tell you exactly why they are ignoring you. So with this stat, what it says is only 7% of the market that you want is actually in the buying window. Okay, so we call this the buying window. That's people actively looking for the services or the products or whatever you have to offer, that's actively looking for that. So there's only 7% out there, and you have to compete for that 7%. Okay, so what do we do with the 93% that's not in the buying window, and how do we know who are the 7% in the buying window? Okay, now that's a mystery, and this is especially relevant to B2B companies, companies doing cold outreach to get attention, even those running ads. Not everyone reacting to your ad is in the buying window. Maybe they are just thinking of it, okay? That doesn't mean they're ready to buy, they're ready to get in. So how do you approach this? If you do cold outreach, if you are looking to sell your services, your high-ticket services, your high-ticket offers to companies out there. So this comes down to quantity. Yes, if you are running ads, you've got a pool of people coming in, you've got an email list, okay, and you've got 100,000 email addresses. That means out of that 100,000, there's only a 7% interested in what you have to offer. Now, this is specifically to B2B companies selling services, okay? So this is, you want a retainer, you want a deal, whatever your services are, okay? You are competing for that 7% in here. That means that is 7,000 people or 7,000 companies in here, in your list, okay? Now, you have to remember, there are hundreds of companies competing for those same people. So how do you stand out, and how do you make sure you attract those that are in the buying window, and how do you approach the 93,000 other companies not in the buying window yet? How do you approach them? So let's get into the approach first. Quantity is king, okay? Quantity is king. Now that's where cold outreach comes in. If you are doing cold outreach, trying to sell your services, and you've got a list of 1,000 people, that means there's only 70 people in that list actively looking for a solution to their problem. Now, you have to make sure that you stand out and actually hit a percentage of those to get new clients, okay? So this is the game. It's a quantity game. The bigger your cold outreach, the bigger this percentage becomes, okay? So with 100,000 cold leads, you aren't looking at that 70 companies anymore. You are looking at 7,000 companies, okay? So you want to make sure you've got systems that can actually extract people in your niche and make sure you get quantity, okay? So if you've got a company and you sell software, and your software is internet security, okay? You've got this revolutionary internet security thing. You aren't a big company yet. You are competing against other internet security companies, okay? And you're doing cold outreach to CEOs of the specific internet security that you're running. So let's say you are doing internet security for hospitals or the medical industry. That means you have to source relevant CEOs on a system. So Apollo is a great system. So what Apollo does is they extract LinkedIn information and you can bulk export, okay? But you are limited. So if your funds isn't big, you're only going to be able to extract 1,000 leads. Now inside that 1,000 leads, you've only got 70 prospects. And remember, like I said, you're competing, okay? So you want to up this. So what you want to look into is getting prospectors that can manually extract a specific number of leads every single day so that you can get this quantity up. Okay? You want to get this quantity up. That's the first thing. Quantity is king. Get as much people as possible and start doing outreach. Okay? So now, yes, you are sending out to 1,000 people and only 70 of them are actually actively looking for a solution that you've got. But what do you do with the rest of them? Now, this is where a lot of companies go wrong. Is they do one run of cold outreach and then they stop. Maybe they see it's not working. Maybe they think, oh damn, I'm wasting my time, I'm wasting my money on this. I'm gonna get a new way to do this. Okay? But most of the time, the problem is in the messaging itself. Okay? And that's where recycling comes in. Okay? I'm going to show you exactly how to handle these people and how to recycle them so that they still remember you and know about you for whenever they are in that 7% that's actually interested in your service or in your solution. Okay? So, messaging. Most of the times, if you don't see any reply coming in from your cold outreach, that's a messaging problem. We've covered this in our previous videos as well. Go and check them out. Okay? You don't want to miscommunicate. Okay? So, the best way to do this and the best way to approach that is with proof. A lot of companies, when they send cold outreach, they say, hey, are you looking for internet security? That's not what you want. You want to be more specific. And you want to tell them exactly, this is what your internet security has done for other companies, okay? This is what it can do for you. And always speak about what's in it for them, okay? It's so basic, but a lot of companies miss this. Again, they see cold outreach as a marketing, but that's not what it's for. You don't want to market anything. These people have never heard of you before. How do you grab their attention? That's what you want to do. Grab attention. Okay? And then you want to tell them what's in it for them. Why should they give their time to you? What's in it for them? So your entire message should be based off of proof and what's in it for them. Okay? You're going to get replies. Okay? You send out 1,000 emails. You get 3 people interested and you get 15 people not interested, okay? Now this is where a lot of companies miss the point. They look at these 15 people saying they're not interested and they are, okay, I'm going to delete you off my list. That's not what you want to do. Those people that actually went the extra mile to reply to your email to tell you, listen, I'm not interested at this time. At this time. Or I'm not interested. They already gave their time to you just by replying. So something in your message already shook them. Okay, so how do you handle them? We're going to get into that now. But first, you're going to jump on a call with these 3 people interested and you might land 1, which is great. 1 is better than none. Okay, so now let's look at the 15 people that replied they're not interested. How do you handle them? Okay, how do you handle them? What a lot of companies do is they get the I'm not interested, and they delete, okay? Now, when you actually get replies that says spam, or fuck you, or you are a scammer, okay? That's a signal that your messaging is entirely wrong, okay? These also pop up, and that's when you have to reassess your messaging. And these types of messaging always comes from marketing cold outreach, okay? No personalization, no complementation, all about them, the company, and not about the prospect, okay? So when you see these, you have to stop your outreach, reassess your messaging, make sure there's proof inside, and make sure you are talking about the prospect. What's in it for them? That's what you want to focus on. What's in it for them? Now the 15 people, like I said, that gets deleted, what should you do with them? How do you handle them? Now this is the key. And a lot of companies don't even have the system, and that is a nurture system. Okay. So you've got 15 people that said they're not interested. What you want to do is you want to reply to them in a polite and non-arrogant way and tell them, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for replying. I'll send you ideas when they come to mind. Okay? So now it looks like whenever you've got an idea for that company, you'll send the idea to that person. Okay? So that person already feels like, okay, this person just want to send me ideas. Great. So you want to reply personally, non-arrogant, polite, be kind, tell them you appreciate the reply, and you're going to send them ideas for their company. Now, you take these people to the nurture list. Okay. Now, on the nurture list, what you're going to do is you're going to add a couple of emails over here. Start off with 5. Okay. And you're going to pop in once a week. Every 7 days. With an email that feels personal and it feels like you're just popping in because they crossed your mind. And you're going to send them some form of value. Now this type of value can be a video of you explaining something like I'm explaining now. And you just tell them you thought of them and you made this video. Go and check it out. Okay? And then you say, have a nice day. And the next email, 7 days later, you send them a quote of something valuable, something that you thought of, something that you think they might appreciate in their day. Okay? So it can be just a nice quote about hard work or just keep on going, whatever you can think of. Be creative with this. But you want to pop in to their inbox with a nice subject line, non-spammy, just conversational, and tell them to have a nice day. That's it, okay? So now, you've got these 15 people not interested, but they are getting some form of engagement with you, okay? So whenever they are in the buying window, they're still gonna get emails from you and they're gonna remember you, okay? So that's what you wanna do with them. Nurture them. And not interested doesn't mean leave me alone. Okay? It just means that person isn't interested at that time. So you don't want to lose out on that. Now, let's get into the recycling. The recycling of prospects. Okay. Because remember, like we said, only 7% of your entire database is in the buying window. Okay? And this buying window changes. It can change every month. It can change every week. Okay? So, if you've got a list of 10,000 people, you pump out emails, you send out 10,000 emails per week, and the next week you're sending out a follow-up, and the next week you're sending out another follow-up, and you close it off, you send out a sequence to 10,000 people in 3 weeks. Okay, now it's time to recycle. You don't want to leave this alone. You want a new angle, okay? So you want to go to your message, again, look at your subject line, switch it up entirely, and get a brand new angle, okay? So you want to rewrite your message, rewrite your message, okay? Get a new angle. So let's say with your internet security, you focused on viruses, okay, in the first email. Now you're going to focus on scammers in the second email, okay? That's two totally different angles because you focused on viruses, people sending out PDFs, people surfing on the web, and there's viruses that's destroying your company's computers, okay? Now, you can have one for scammers, focused on, okay, there's a lot of scamming going on these days, and big businesses are getting scammed, their banking details are taken, so get a brand new angle of exactly what your offer can do. So your internet security, don't just do one thing, it does a lot of things, okay? So focus on one subject, one solution, that your internet security does, and one solution in your messaging. And with every message, you rewrite it, remember what's in it for them, okay? And focus on that one solution, that one problem, okay? And tell them, you've got the solution. You don't want to tell them it's $500 per month. You don't want to tell them any of that. You want to get on a call with them. That's what you want. Because only on a call you can actually assess what they actually need. If they replied for the scammer solution, you know the call is going to go about the scammer solution because this guy already replied on the solution that you have. Okay? So focus on that solution on the call. And that's exactly how you are going to recycle your prospects. And as you recycle, you should be adding more prospects to your list. Okay? You want to keep on growing your list. Quantity is king. Go as big, as fast as possible. When you see your stats, you only get 2% reply rate. You know, okay, 10 of them said not interested. 2 of them booked a call. Okay? Then you know, okay, your solution hit those people, but you don't want to pump out that solution again to the list that you just sent it to. You want a new solution, keep on recycling, keep on getting new proof, getting new messaging, and build your list and keep on sending out your cold outreach. And remember to nurture those that even said not interested. That's how you're going to make sure you're on top of mind whenever someone in the 97% changes to the 7%. Okay? And then you want to make sure you know exactly what your competitors are busy with, especially when it comes to cold outreach or whatever other systems they use. You want to make sure you know what they are busy with so that you can be better. Okay? You want to be on top of it. You want to make sure you've got the best prospecting systems and the best teams to handle that, and make sure quantity and quality in your messaging, quality in your proof, quality in your solutions are pushed in those emails. That's all from my side. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to this channel, and let me know in the comments if you have any other sales and marketing topic that you want me to cover, and I'll get right to it. I'll see you in the next video.